Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here, and before we get started on today's Transformer, I want to make an apology to all of you, my loyal viewers. Due to some technical issues recording the original video of this Transformer, we had a lot of technical issues that resulted in only the introduction of the video being saved into the computer. So I'm a day late getting this posted, and I do apologize to all of my loyal subscribers. But we're going to give it another go, and hopefully this video will be better than the original one that I recorded. As you can see, we're taking a look at the Generation 1 Autobot Battle Station, Metroplex. Metroplex was released in 1986. He would also be available in 1987. He would be discontinued in 1988, and we would not get a replacement for him. While he is somewhat of a step up in terms of play, well, he's a significant step up, I should say, in play value from Omega Supreme, he is not intended to have been replaced by Fortress Maximus, as Fortress Maximus functioned as a headmaster leader, not as a battle station like Metroplex here does. Now, there's a lot to cover here on Metroplex, so I do apologize if I'm going a little too fast for you, but there is a lot to show off on this toy, and you may have to go through it a second time to make sure you've caught everything. The first thing I want to point out is that there is a variation to the toy. Let's bring him out here more into the light to show off part of it. Right here is where the start of it is, knocking his knee pads off. Darn things are always loose. But anyway, right here, these upper legs, these will either be real chrome, like this batch is right here, or later versions of the toy would have this as a chrome sticker, which, as you can imagine, would be somewhat inferior to this real chrome. And there goes one of the kneecaps again. Also along here on the sides, the early versions like this one feature real rubber tires. As you can imagine, later versions of the toy would replace these with plastic tires. Let's put him back here on the table. Yeah. Get the kneecap back on after dropping it on the floor here. Alright, for articulation purposes, Metroplex is considerably articulated for a Transformer of his size. He can have his arms rotate here at the shoulder, all the way around. And there are joints at the legs, not only allow the legs to be brought up in such a fashion like that, but the legs can be brought out to the sides, that even if you wanted to, we could do a full splits. Pretty impressive articulation for a Transformer, especially one of his size. Oh, and there is one slightly at the knees, so we can kind of give him a hunched appearance. Kind of looks like one of them a lopsided version of one of those things in that new Tron movie, doesn't it? Okay, get him upright fully. Now, stated before, he does have a lot of play features. We're going to show off one of them right now. One of them involves making him super strong by attaching 4 of the combiner components to him. To do so, we'll have to start by removing the kneecaps. Let's bring one of them up close to the camera here. I'm going to be showing off the parts throughout the video, folks, so please do try to pay attention, because he does have quite a few. There are 2 of this piece right here. This is the kneecap. They both look exactly the same. We're going to get them out of the way. And then, of course, you got two of these large black guns that were in his shoulders. You'll need to remove them, too. Back that up a little bit so you can see it clearly. There are two of these. They face the opposite direction. You'll notice this one in particular. There is a little tiny hole right in there, right there near the gun barrel. That's important later on. And then now you'll see right here in the knees, we have a couple of connection points in here. Just like there is a connection point here at the shoulders. So you would need some combiner components here. We've got the Protectabots all sitting about here. Shift the camera a bit so you can see them. All you got to do for them is just get a post or their head exposed. This will be the same whether you use the Technobots or the aerial bots. So whatever you do, you get those out and then just plug them into the spots any which way you want. And there you have it. You have now a super strong Metroplex. While it is kind of interesting, it does seem kind of redundant, as it says on his own. The lore seems to claim that under his own power, Metroplex could easily lift a mountain. So it's like, just how much stronger does this mode really make him? I really couldn't tell you, folks, but it is at least some play feature. It's one feature that he does have that he can boast over Trypticon. Moving right along, we're going to take a brief look at Metroplex's sidekicks. We're going to start with the biggest of them. As you can see, you need a fair amount of parts to build this one. Alright, to start with, we're going to need this robot chest / tower. And we're also going to need this part, the robot body / tower. You just plug this big post on the red piece into the square hole on the white piece. Then you'll take two black guns from earlier and you'll plug them into the holes on the side of the white piece here. Just exactly like that. And you're going to take this gun right here, this one here. This is referred to as a laser pistol. You'll notice here on this side, if we can get it in the light, there is a little post here. And that little post connects into the hole inside this one gun here. Just exactly like that. And next, you're going to need the two large red guns. Of course, for some optional fun, you can load them with these rockets. There are 3 of these rockets included with Metroplex. See? 3 of them. You only need 2, so put the other one aside and just load them in. Like all the Transformer launchers, they are neutered, so don't have to worry about accidental misfires. Then you're going to connect these posts on the black ends of the gun and plug them into these 2 small holes down here at the bottom of this red piece. Yeah, looks like it'll work better without the missiles, so take the legs off, pop the missiles out, separate the chest unit inadvertently. I can see we're off to a grand start. Plug you back in. And what can you say? It's old toys. They don't cooperate. And then lastly, you're going to take this double-barreled gun and plug it into the last hole, left featured, and there we have it. This is the largest of Metroplex's sidekicks, known as 6-gun. So let's face it, you got 2 guns here, 2 guns as the arms, 1 gun attached to this gun, and another gun hanging on his backside. 6-gun. Kind of a silly name, but he does stand up to probably just shade taller, or about the same size as most of the large Transformers that were being sold at that time. So that's a nice bonus. Nice bonus to get with a toy the size of Metroplex. You get a bonus Transformer toy that's just about as big. And he's about as articulated as many of those as well, because as you can imagine, the only articulation is at the shoulder. You can rotate the shoulder guns all the way around. You can move this one, move the one that's attached just a little bit here for a little more range of fire. Fire this one straight at something and then use that and you can shoot a pipsqueak or something. But anyway, that's 6-gun. Next up, we're going to build the second sidekick, and this one is probably the more famous of the two, of all 3 rather. For it, you'll need this tank bottom, and you'll also need this tank turret. All you need to do to get him assembled is just plug the gun in into the hole on the top, and there you have it. This is Slammer. And he easily falls out of your hands. Slammer here is famous due to being seen briefly in the 1986 Transformers the movie, as Autobot City was being transformed into battle mode. So we could all, those of us who have seen it, can remember there was a segment that did feature an obvious tank being rotated, a manner similar to that you just saw me do with him, into battle. That bit alone has made many fans believe that Autobot City featured there in the movie was Metroplex. However, many sources have revealed in the years since then that it was not Metroplex. But still, nice way to do some subliminal advertising for the large toy. The only real downside to Slammer is that he has no wheels at all, and you got a sticker for the tread, so you really get next to no movement at all, but he does seem to scoot along pretty well here on this piece of poster board here. But no real frills, and unfortunately, due to the way he's designed, since he also becomes part of a tower in the city, you really can't rotate the turret, so you're kind of stuck with a forward-facing tank, and that's about it. So that's Slammer. And here's the last of Metroplex's sidekicks. This is Scamper. Scamper's your basic little robot car. There's just a lack of paint on him. Makes him kind of bland, you know. I mean, the black color is nice. I like the black color, but the only splash of color he has is the Autobot symbol on his chest. And unfortunately, like most of the other things on this toy, the articulation is only in the arm. You can rotate the arm all the way. But he at least also has a suitable transformation. and is not really used in any of the components for Metroplex, so he can be available anytime. Transform him. First we got to remove his gun. We'll bring it up close here so you can see it. This is the small laser pistol. As you can see, it's very tiny. It's often one of the most commonly missing pieces on loose Metroplexes, so keep an eye out for it, folks. But then, Scamper has more loose parts in the fact that his arms rotate so easily because they are removable. Those are Scamper's arms. The thing, we'll want to pay attention to is on this side right here. This would be where what would be his what you would assume would be his thumbs are. So that's the only real way to tell that you've got a right hand or a left hand. So always keep an eye on that, folks, if you're fussy about that sort of thing. Anyway, we'll set the arms there aside. To transform Scamper, all you're going to do is you take his back and fold it over onto his chest. Then you'll grab the whole chest unit and fold it over and back. Then you just take the arms and insert them, pointing back with the fists pointing at the back. And then there you have it. He is a little six-wheeled car of unknown origin. All the wheels are made of plastic, unfortunately, but they are on axles, so he will roll pretty good across this surface here. See? Just gentle taps and away he goes. Nice little addition. Although I can imagine probably coming straight on like this, he'd represent another famous 80s icon. Whoa, whoa. And that is Scamper. Okay, now comes the fun part. Time to transform Metroplex himself. Now the first thing we need to do is remove the accessories that he has, starting with his hands. We'll bring these fists up to the camera so you can get a decent look at them, folks. These are Metroplex's fists. There is no R or L like you'd see on many of the combiner hands, so make sure you check for that. And of course you will also remove this antenna on the left shoulder. This is the only one that comes out. That one does not. This one does. As you can imagine, it is also a relatively easily lost piece. Now we're going to get that out of the way. Now, the first thing we got to do, we lower this antenna. Then you're going to push the forearms up against his shoulders. We rotate the antenna on Metroplex towards us, and then push his head in until it clicks into place, just like that. And the next thing we're going to do is going to turn him around for a moment, and we open up the back of his legs like that. And then turn him around before he falls down on us. And you pop out the front of his legs like so. Then we're going to rotate the legs around like so at his hips, and then fold things down so that he's kind of in a seated position. We can spread the legs out, which we'll do here in a moment. First, we need to work with his arms, kind of get them out of the way. The right arm, you just rotate it so it's coming straight up. Like that, so it looks like a tower. The left arm, you're going to rotate upwards as well, but you're also going to slide it towards the back and rotate it to the side, just like that. Then now, we can open his legs out a little bit further, give us a little bit of room. Kind of pan over so you can see everything. And we're going to get the kneecaps back here, and the kneecaps connect right down here at the ends of the legs. Just exactly like that. Turn it over here to the other side. And there we go. Don't move anymore, camera. Alright. Now, oops, we've rotated things a little incorrectly here. We're supposed to first, oops, don't move on me. Gotta get this section to come out. Then we can rotate the arm upward. So now we got the helipad exposed. And of course, lastly, we got to add this last piece, the large tower. And this piece plugs in right back here. Plugs in right there, exactly like that. And of course, we get Slammer out here. We take his gun turret off. And you see underneath him, he has a little tower piece. You just bring that out and fold it up top like that. And then you'll take this plug on the back and plug him into the opposite arm to make him a tower. And next, we got to dismantle 6 gun real quick here off camera. Doo-doo. La-da-da-dee. Ta-da-da-tum. Because you're going to need the red robot body and the white chest. Now you remember earlier you saw this square hole here that we connected the front of the robot to. Well, this time we put the square hole on top of the head of 6 gun. And these 2 little forks here at the bottom connect into the slots right here next to the helipad. And for that final touch, you pop open this section and pull it out, and you got yourself a ramp. To attach the camera. Or just lift the tripod. And there we have it. Metroplex in city mode. So you got plenty of little repair bays and a ramp to launch them out. And the helipad, which goes great with that Protectabot blades that was released the same year. Now all you need is some mini vehicles to complete the look. Now some of you folks are out there probably saying, hey Sparkster, that's enough fun right there for me, but we're not done yet. Oh no sir, we are not done yet. Because there is an added bonus here for Metroplex. He can combine with the released Hotspot and Silverbolt, released that same year. That's not shown in the instructions. Let me get them out here and we'll show you what they can do. Okay, for some added fun, like I said, we got Hotspot here in his repair bay mode. And he can just rest comfortably along the side of Metroplex back there, alongside some of the other repair bays. Now, if you got Silverbolt as well, you put him in his ramp mode like this, and the little post here that he stands with can be connected right here into this hole at the front. All you got to do, just remove the kneecap to get it out of the way. Stand up back there, Hotspot. You're making us look bad. Okay, don't stand up. And just plug him in like so. And here you go. A little more play features. Alright, we'll plug him in there. Maybe he'll stand up a little bit better. No, maybe not. We'll have to get somebody in front of him to hold him up. But, as an added bonus, these toys, when they were originally sold in Japan, before they became Transformers, all of them were basically part of the same faction. So, you can add in Motormaster and Onslaught. You put Motormaster in his ramp mode the exact way you would for Trypticon, and he can be plugged in over here on this spot. Over there in that corner. And then down here at the front, if you've got Onslaught in his mode, a little post square on the back of his head will rest comfortably into that hole up front. There we go. Now we got the camera loose. So we'll give you an aerial view of how this looks. Now you just look at this, folks. You have got some play value with all this. Let's complete the look and put some small Transformers on it. Hold on. And there we have it. I mean, take a look at all of this play space that you have. This, I'm at a loss for words here, folks. This would have been fun. Now, I wouldn't have minded seeing Motormaster or Onslaught get recolored to have Autobot forms to add to the play value. Now, of course, Metroplex's mold was reissued in Japan in 1992 as Metro Titan. It's the exact same mold, so you could do this with him. So for those of you that have Metro Titan, now you also know you can put Motormaster and Onslaught with them instead of just with Trypticon. And of course, you can also have your own versions of Silverbolt and Hotspot turned Trader, and you can use them there too. But unbelievable. This would have been fun to play with as a kid. Hands down, you know. I can imagine that if many of us knew about this growing up, this would have been the site of all our Autobot. They'd all be there. They'd all be stationed here. This is a party right here. So, there you go. Complete Autobot City mode. Now, it's time to clear away everybody. And let's transform him into his battle station. Alright, now it's time to transform him into the battle station. And of course, you'll want to make sure the kneecaps are removed if you didn't attach the other guys to him. I'm going to start by, we need to remove this tower completely from him. Set it aside out of our way. And we'll also need to remove Slammer. And of course, in case of Slammer, just go ahead and reassemble him back into tank mode. Put him aside. Now we're going to turn the toy around. And you're going to push this black button here behind the toy, as it will pop up Metroplex's head, just like that. And while we're back here, you're going to take the large tower here, you're going to turn it around so it's pointing downward. And then we're going to take the double-barreled cannon that you saw earlier. You're going to take this post here, and you're going to plug it into the hole in the back of the tower, just like that. And then now we turn the toy around to the front. I'm going to push the ramp back in and close her up as best you can. Need to fold the helipad over and close it up. And while you're here, touch the panel on the top of that section and rotate it around to bring up some more guns. Then, of course, you can push Metroplex's head back down. You're going to bring this arm back up to the front. Slide it around. Rotate it so it's pointing straight up for the moment. And bring it around to the front. Now you're going to pivot both arms so the shoulders are pointing at us. And we pull, of course, pull the antenna out on this side. And on the other side, just reinsert the antenna in like so. And now, we stand Metroplex up. We're going to rotate him at the waist again. Careful not to move the tower. The legs, you're going to totally close them back up. And then bring them forward. Like so. Yeah, I mean keep these front portions of the legs open. So that you got Metroplex seated forward like that. Just exactly like that. You got like a long flight deck on an aircraft carrier. Now, you can get the two black guns again and connect them to the connection points at the shoulder. And for added firepower, get the large red guns, mount a missile inside them, and plug them into these holes in front. Like that. And then there you have it, battle station mode. Of course, in battle station mode, Metroplex has access to all of his guns. So you've got an impressive amount of firepower here for the Autobots. And it does roll very smoothly across this surface, so I doubt he'd roll pretty well over thick carpet, but on a smooth surface like this poster board on my table, he's rolling pretty good. Of course, also in this mode, if you want, you can have Slammer and Scamper join in the fun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun! Charge! Alright, now as you can imagine, the instructions for Metroplex are quite large and thick. So let's take a good look at them. Slowly go through all of these parts. You can imagine many kids in 86 and 87 loved finding this under their Christmas trees. Of course, they go into how to get the robot fully ready out of the box. The first thing many of us would want to do. And of course, how to build 6-gun. And then Slammer. And how to transform the car into Scamper. And then we get to the super strong Metroplex. And now we start the complicated city mode. And of course, turn it around to the backside to finish city mode. And then now to transform him into the battle station. And of course, get the little guys ready to join the fight. And then the fun part, the stickers. As you can imagine, this must have been a chore and a half to do. And then of course you get save your robot points, read the tech spec, and find the rub sign. Quite a lot to cover on such a big toy, but not unexpected. Now, of course, just like with Triptychon that you saw about this time last year, get Metroplex here out of the way. We got the styrofoam insert here for the box. This large cubby here would be where it kept the paperwork and a lot of the loose parts. The big red guns were in these cubbies here on the side. And the big black guns would be here. And then right in here would be the fists. And you have this nice large deep cavity for Metroplex himself. And of course, since we showed that off, we've also got to go with it the box. Now this would be a mid to late 1986 box, as it has the advertisement here for the glow-in-the-dark movie poster, which I will get around to reviewing at some point. As you can see, we got one flap open, so you can see along the side, shows all three modes. It'll be the same on the opposite side. On the top of the box, you got the same sort of pictures here, done up in black, including a nice listing down there of all the parts. And do the same thing at the bottom, all in red. Move it around to the back side. You get the simplified instructions. And of course, right up here at the top, it lists the names for his troopers, which was not listed on the instructions. And a simplified means of transforming him from battle station to city. And we got here the 1986 mural, which heavily featured Metroplex and Triptychon. And a very large tech spec. And as you can also see, he's got his robot points still attached, and he was worth 5 points. Now, scooting it along over here, we got a picture of him that matches the one on the front of the box. It's done in red, so he's an Autobot, and even says that he is. It lists his name as Metroplex and gives his function as Battle Station. His motto is, "Vigilance is the foundation on which victories are built." Startlingly versatile, staggeringly strong, the Autobot's last line of defense, which ironically previously had been Omega Supreme. A mighty instrument of titanic destructive force, extremely modest about his achievements, berates himself for not doing more. In robot mode, he can lift 70,000 tons, has shoulder-mounted twin high-energy maser cannons, and omnidirectional receiving and transmitting antenna. In city mode, has helipad and fully equipped repair bays that can handle 4 vehicles at once. Left rear tower transforms into Tank Slammer, who has rocket-propelled mortar cannon. Scamper is a sports car with side-mounted electroblasters. Transforms into robot, uses high-energy particle beam pistol. Six Gun is small robot, has ion pulse rifles for arms, twin surface-to-air guided missile launchers on back, acetylene pistol. In battle station mode, uses all these weapons and twin disruptor rays, laser lances, powerful antimatter projectors. Metroplex comes to battle, he comes to battle. Now we'll lay the decoder here over the grid and let's take a look at his statistics. It gives his strength as 10, his intelligence is 8, his speed is 2, his endurance is 9, his rank is 8, his courage and firepower are 10, and his skill is 9. So Metroplex means business when he comes out onto the battlefield. Of course, I got one last bonus thing to show you on it, folks. It's in here in this plastic bag. This is the remnants of a plastic tree that the missiles would be stored on when the toy was originally released. You'd have to twist and break them off of this. I'd like to thank my brother for finding one of these on eBay. Makes a nice addition, but of course this is his Metroplex too, so nice addition for him as well. Now, down to my thoughts. What do I think of Metroplex? As a character, Metroplex is more or less the same as all of the other bases, especially when it comes down to the revised lore that's been done and the more than meets the eye guides. Metroplex, like the other base characters, are more or less the non-violent ones. They don't want to be involved in the war, and they find themselves as reluctant fighters to be in it. Of course, when the situations get bad enough to bring them into the fight, obviously is a sign that one side is being overwhelmingly devastated and needs the support. However, Metroplex seems to be the one that's more forgotten out of the toy line. Everybody remembers Fortress Maximus being the biggest one ever released in the G1 line. And of course, Omega Supreme was chosen to appear in the Cybertron series of games over Metroplex to be the one that would be the counter to the Decepticon-based Trypticon. So it seems almost that Metroplex would be overlooked. However, he does get the comeuppance by being remade in the new toy line as the largest Transformer ever made. However, I've heard from many people that that one isn't quite as good, especially when compared to the original toy here. And when you add in the bonus play features that I've shown you throughout this video, it's pretty clear that this toy rocks. This was an excellent made toy. I can see why it was sold in bigger numbers than Trypticon, but of course, since Metroplex doesn't have electronic features, he was a little cheaper than Trypticon. However, Metroplex has been put out on the market so much more than Trypticon that you can easily find a complete Metroplex without really having to do too much work. Although, in my opinion, I think that's a bit of a shame. Metroplex is a great toy. The city mode, it's amazing. And when you find out that you can add 2 or even 4 of the other combiner leaders alongside him, that's just added play value, folks. That gives you more to do. So it's like, that's for making a real impressive display, if you've got a table large enough to handle it. The battle station mode, it's alright. It's not perfect, but it does well for what it is. A rolling platform with a lot of guns. There's even a fair amount of open space that some of your mini vehicles, cassette guys, or even some Micromasters can hang out on it. to add and bolster to the firepower. What's not to love about it? In the long run, while Metroplex may seem kind of flat and dull, I'm still going to put him up on the top tier. The added bonus play features that he comes with, whether they're mentioned by Hasbro or not, they're amazing. He's the only one that can have 4 combiner leaders mounted alongside him. When he's in city mode, he's got plenty of room in battle station mode for little transformers to hang out. And the large robot's got a fair amount of articulation on him. He rivals that of most of the others that are about 2/3 of his size. So, definitely, top tier toy, folks. And that concludes my review of the Generation 1 Autobot Battle Station Metroplex. If you liked the video, thumbs up it here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. Please consider liking this video and share your comments and thoughts of Metroplex in the comments section down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying Happy Thanksgiving, and I will catch you all later.